So, I'm recording now, I guess. I don't really know why I'm making this. I'm not too sure how to talk in the context of, well, like a YouTube video, or just a video in general. But I guess it's something I'll learn with time. And I just kind of wanted to talk to myself and, you know, go over the things that I think are bothering me and stuff like that. So what is bothering me? It's a really good question. I guess a lot of different things. I think one of them is that I found myself doing things, and I've kind of acknowledged that I have a lot of issues that I didn't realize were there. I just have a lot of things going on in my head that I don't really understand, that I don't know why I do. Like, obviously I'm going to talk in general terms for everything. I don't know. I think lately I've found myself I think the biggest thing I've noticed about myself is I'm self-destructive in not a selfish way, whereas normally people would say that they're self-destructive, and the way they are self-destructive are things to push people away from them because they are unhappy with what they are receiving, or they're unhappy about an aspect about themselves, or they need a release, and that can be seen as self-destructive behavior. Whereas my self-destructiveness is based around, I guess, maybe feeling a need, or like feeling too comfortable in a way. Like, today I had a situation where I knew what I would do would affect a person, and I knew what I would do would affect the relationship I had with them. And I knew these things, and I knew I was crossing a boundary, yet I still did it. And I don't know if that stems from just simple negligence. It stems from a lack of care, but I don't think that's true, because I do care about the person. I do care about them a lot, but for some reason I felt like it was the right thing to do. Do I feel like that's maybe a result of like a god complex? Not a god complex per se, but a need to feel relied on, and so I push that reliance onto other people, and I end up making them uncomfortable because of it. I don't know, but this thing that happened was, there was this person, and I crossed a boundary, and I knowingly crossed a boundary, and it didn't result in anything positive, anything being gained for me or that person or that relationship, and it only affected it negatively, but I knew that, and yet I still did it. And I guess in a way that kind of tells me that the things that I do that are self-destructive aren't about me being self-destructive. It's about pushing pushing people away in a very literal way, in a way that is like, I am too comfortable, I am too happy, and therefore, because of that, I am going to take away the thing that makes me happy, but I end up taking away that also makes the person happy. And it's like, that's why it's such a selfish self-destructiveness, because it it doesn't affect me at all, because in a way I silently resign, and I'm like, okay, well, I know what's going to happen. I realize that I'm going to push this person away. I'm okay with that. But they aren't okay with that. They don't want to be pushed away. They don't want to feel like they can't trust me. And I'm not sure what that is, and I'm not sure what it stems from. But it's just an uncomfortable thing that I've found that happens. And I feel like it's happened in the past as well, where I've tried to push people away, or things have been too comfortable, and I do things and I don't learn from them, and I just say, oh, well, if you're unhappy with me, why don't you leave me? If you don't feel good with me, why don't you leave me? But the difference is, this time I don't want to say that, because I don't want them to leave me. I'm happy, and I want to be happy, and I think I deserve to be happy, and I want them to be happy, and I think they deserve to be happy. And I know to an extent that I do help with that happiness, and I am a thing that, makes them happy, but I don't know. It's like, do I genuinely believe that? I think that's a big struggle, is that I don't think I do genuinely believe that. It's like, it's not that I think I'm necessarily undeserving of it. It's just that I don't think I'll ever be able to truly believe when someone calls me, like someone gives me compliments, or they say they're happy with me, or they say they like me. Like, as much as I want to believe it, and as much as it makes me feel really good and really happy, it's like it never solidifies in my head, and I don't know why that is. And I don't know if that stems from me having a low self-esteem, or me not thinking that I'm worthy of that stuff, or any other thing to do with that. But it's just like, I really want to believe it. I really do want to, but I can't make myself believe something that I genuinely don't believe. And yeah, I think another thing I wanted to talk about was, why do I knowingly not respect boundaries? Like, why do I, when I know something is not good, when I know something will violate a boundary, why do I feel like I can, or why do I feel like I need to? Like, it's a really weird thing. It's like, what goes through in my head saying that, oh no, it's better if I don't. Like, I push, because I know that for myself, when I'm in a dark place and when I'm alone, I find it very comforting having people near me, and I find it very comfortable being around people, and it helps me. It eases a lot of the pain of being alone, and a lot of the pain of thinking and feeling. But why do I struggle so much with respecting that for other people? It's not that I don't respect it, because I do respect it. I find it very easy to respect at times, but sometimes I get into my head, and I get very anxious, and I get very, I don't know, I just get in not a good place about it. And what ends up happening is I end up violating a boundary, which in turn feeds into that, like, self-destructive thing, where, like, I know what I'm doing is wrong, yet I still do it because I feel like it's for the best, maybe, but also, who am I to make that decision for the other person? Like, I feel like I need to just be more open to the idea that people aren't me, and not everyone needs to be me, or not everyone feels the way I do, feels the way I feel, and not everyone needs the same things I need, and I just need to be willing to say that sometimes the care people need and the thing they need to feel respected is something like space, which is not something that I'm fully comfortable with, and I'm okay admitting that, but it's something I can learn and something I want to learn, because there are people in my life who I do care about who find a lot of comfortability in that space. They find the same comfortability in it that I do when I'm around other people. And I think that's kind of scary for me, maybe, because it's like, I don't know, I feel like for me space can also be seen as kind of them, as just anyone. Like space, for me at least, can feel like, oh, they're like, it's a fear thing. It's like it feeds into the idea that they don't want to be near me, they don't want to let me in, they don't want to be comfortable. And I don't fully believe that either, because like to an extent I know that's not true, but I think subconsciously I've convinced myself of that. And it's not healthy. It's not a healthy way to live. It's not a healthy way to be, and it's something I don't particularly feel proud of. And it's something that I struggle with admitting, in the sense that I don't want to admit it, like, because it's kind of makes me feel pathetic admitting it, that people asking for space makes me scared that they don't want to be around me. And it's not like a literal fear. It's not like when they ask me for space, like I get immediately scared that they're trying to get away from me, that they don't want to be around me, that they don't want to rely on me. I think a lot of it is subconsciously, that I don't actively think that stuff, but I feel alone. And maybe that's just me being a psycho who craves human attention and who craves human affection, but I also don't think that's true, because I think I am very human. I think I am very empathetic, and I think I am very sympathetic, sometimes to a fault. Because I think, I don't know, I think the biggest thing I need to get over is I need to get over this selfish thought that I need to be needed. Like, for some reason, especially in a partner, I feel like I need to be needed to be validated. And that's not a healthy way to be. It's not a healthy way to be in a relationship. It's not a healthy thing to have. I know that it's not healthy to need a partner 24/7. Like, it's obsession. It's unhealthy obsession. Like, there's healthy obsession where it's like, oh, I love my partner, they're amazing and they're beautiful, and like, like, oh, they're like the love of my life and stuff like that. I understand that there's healthy obsession, but then I also understand that there's unhealthy obsession where you're not even aware you're obsessed. You've built that kind of subconscious reliance on them, and that shit is like, it's dangerous. And it's, you need to be able to acknowledge it's happening, otherwise no change is going to be made. Like, I mean, one thing I learned, I guess, one good thing I've learned, good thing I've picked up from making these mistakes over and over again in my life is that, and sure, it was like a recent thing that I learned, but it was still something I learned, was that the way I react, where I start to beat myself up and I just feel like shit and I feel horrible for the way I act, the way I do that is like, it affects people. It's like, I pride myself on being someone that people can open up to, and being someone that people can rely on, and I really, like, I kind of, to an extent, love being relied on, not in an unhealthy sense, but I love when people can be able to come to me freely without fear of being judged, without fear of, like, knowing that they will get the care and the love that they deserve. I love that. It's something that I really enjoy being for people. Like, sure, it can be draining at times. Like, anything can be draining at times, but it's something that I love doing. I love being there for people, and I guess it's scary when I'm not. Like, I don't really have, like, I should probably write stuff down, because like I should really write this stuff down somewhere, but like, so I don't lose my train of thought. Like, I just completely forgot what I was saying before, but I think that's kind of what this is it's a diary in a way. It's just me rambling to myself. It's easier than writing, it's easier than anything. It's just me clicking a button and talking. But and I don't really give a fuck who sees it. Like, it's just me talking, and I have my little caricature. But yeah, it's like I went through this situation that kind of made me realize that, not like the way I self-destruct and the way I feel, the way I think that I learn from stuff, where I was like, oh, I hate myself, oh, I'm a piece of shit, like, I need to feel that to, like, learn. I've realized that isn't, it's not healthy, and it's not necessarily saying that it's unhealthy for me, because it did make me change, and it did make me feel bad, and I think that's overall, like, a good thing. But I think the worst thing about it was that it made my partner less willing to open up to me about stuff, because they knew how I'd react. And them knowing how I would react, them knowing that I'd feel horrible and that I'd beat myself up and all that shit, them knowing that made them less willing to open up to me. And that is not something I want. So it's like, I have this pattern of, like, being like, oh, I want you to open up to me, and I want you to be able to, like, freely tell me stuff. But as soon as they tell me stuff that is about me, that's like, oh, you did something and it made me uncomfortable, I start to beat myself up about it. And that's not, like, you know, anything that I want. I want them to be able to freely come to me and not have to worry about that stuff. And so I changed. And so I made a conscious effort to not feel that way, to not feel like shit, to acknowledge that my feelings are just feelings, to acknowledge that I'm allowed to feel bad, of course, but that I shouldn't hold myself to such a strong standard, and I shouldn't be actively, like, harming myself in a mental way because of this thing I did. Like, it's not healthy for me. Even if it did promote real change, it's not healthy for me, and it's not healthy for my partner, for them to be able to open up. Like, so yeah, I made an active change, and I stopped feeling that way, or, like, I try to stop feeling that way, and I try to not beat myself up so much. It's hard, but I feel like I've done an okay effort. Yeah, like, just, like, small shit that I've noticed, I guess. I don't want to do an egg hunt right now, dude. My fucking brain's fried. Oh, there's so many people I haven't met. Oh, I thought I didn't have any energy. But yeah, I think I'm really scared. I think I'm really, really scared right now. I think I have a lot of fear of losing this person in my life and all this other shit. And I don't want it to sound like an excuse, but, like, I don't know. And I don't know why, when I want to feel good and when I do feel good, that I feel like I need to do this stuff to not feel good. I don't know why I always get so... I think I'm complacent in someone hating me, and I'm complacent in someone not liking me. Like, I'm okay with it. I don't care. Like, fuck off. But I think generally, I think I was in a stage of my life where for 3 years, like, or like for maybe like 2.5 years, I was in that. I was in a situation where I was constantly reminded about how the other person doesn't like me, and the other person, like, in a way, they're not attracted to me, yet they're still with me, and I kind of got complacent in that idea where I could push boundaries and I could step over boundaries, and it would never have any real repercussion because this person already didn't like me. So I would always say, "I'll just break up with me, then I don't care." But I don't want that anymore. I don't want to be complacent in that feelings. I don't want this person to not like me. I don't want to. I'm not okay with going to sleep at night, being in a relationship where the other person, like knowing the other person is not attracted to me and doesn't like me because I like what I have now, and I really like the person. But yeah, I think maybe that's like a thing. Maybe it's an epiphany I just had, was that like I am complacent being in a situation where I'm constantly reminded about how much I'm not liked and how much the person's unattracted to me and how little they, like, oh, I care about you and I love you, but like I'm not into you. And I'm like, okay, that that kind of defeats the purpose of being in a relationship. And if you're not into someone, if you like, you can love and care about them, but if you're not attracted to them like individually, why are you with them? And yeah, weird. But I'm not okay with that anymore. I don't want to be in that ever again. I don't want to be put into a situation where I don't want to be disliked. I say that, but it's like kind of like subconsciously. I feel like I do want to be disliked, but I don't. It's like the thing with like I want you to hate me, but like because it's easier to understand. Oh, this is it. It's easier to understand why the person doesn't like me than it is to understand why they do. So it's like I do these things that end up pushing them away, which end up just being really like kind of in a sense emotional abuse. And it's just like an abuse of trust and all that stuff. And it's like I get like, it's easier, yeah, like it's easier to understand someone who doesn't like me and someone who is with me but like they don't not attracted to me than it is to understand someone who genuinely likes me and who genuinely is attracted to me. So maybe that kind of is like a root cause of why I feel like I need to do this stuff, why I'm like, okay, there's this boundary which I know I'm going to cross, but I'm doing it because I care about them, and that's okay, and it's okay if they hate me, and it's okay if we break up, like, and it's okay like if they don't talk to me after this, because you know I'm me. So why would they like me? It's a very interesting thing, and it's like I think a very easy solution to that is just acknowledging that I have that issue, and maybe in the future being okay with them liking me. But it's like, how do I be okay with them liking me? It takes time, because like, first of all, like I don't even really believe it. Like, it hasn't hit me yet that they even like me. So how do you expect, like, how do you expect me to, like, if I don't even believe you like they like me, how the fuck am I meant to how the fuck am I meant to like, where was I? Like, how the fuck am I meant to be comfortable in a relationship where I'm genuinely liked if I don't even believe you like me? And that's kind of like a root cause. It is a root cause. It's like, it's a really weird thing. But yeah, I think that's kind of like a good little ramble and a good little thing to notice, is that I think I just find it easier to understand people disliking me because I've never really liked myself. Like, as sure, I sometimes look at my body and I don't completely hate it, but I've never really liked who I am mentally. Like, I don't really think I have anything going for me. I think I struggle way too much. I think I'm needy. I think I'm abusive. I think I'm overly affectionate. I think I do too much. I think I try too little. And I don't think I've really given this person any reason to like me. So why do they? It's so weird. And not necessarily saying that I am abusive in the like literal sense, because I don't think I am, but I abuse the things people are willing to give me, but I don't do it consciously, and I think sometimes overthink like things as abuse, which abuse is a very strong word to use, like, but that is just how I feel, like regardless of if it's a strong word to use or not, it is genuinely how I feel about what I do, and how I treat people. It's like I abuse their trust and I abuse what they're willing to give me. But I also don't fully believe that, which is weird. Maybe abuse isn't the right word. Maybe I'm just so unwilling to accept what they give me that I think any amount of pushback or anything that I would call me being self-destructive, I label as abuse. But that doesn't sound right either. But I feel like that's easier than just calling it abuse. Yeah, it's so strange. Anyway, back to like the complacency of, being hated. It's a really, it's a really, it's dangerous. It's really dangerous because I have a good thing going, but I just want this person to. Oh, it's not even that I do want them to. I don't want them to dislike me. I don't want them to hate me. I think I just want them to see me how I see myself. And I also acknowledge that that's not healthy. And it's also not completely true because I don't want them to see me how I see myself. I want them to see me how they see me. Because it makes me feel good knowing that they see me in such a different light to how I've ever seen myself or how I've ever viewed myself. It's just, it's so complex. Like, I find my brain is so complex and the thoughts I have are so contradictory. Like, what I did today and the mistake I made, I think was out of a place of care, but it also feels like I'm trying to convince myself of that when I know it was a selfish thing. But I don't know if it's me wanting to convince myself that it wasn't selfish, or I don't know if it's me, like, I don't know, I've kind of lost my train of thought here, but like basically the thing I did was a violation of the person's boundaries, and I knew that. And I think the biggest thing I'm struggling to do right now is admit that the reason I did it was because I was worried about this person. But that worry kind of turned into a hope that they'd see it as worry and not just see it as a abuse of a boundary or crossing a boundary. But I also knew that they'd see it that way because I knew what I was doing was me crossing a boundary. It hurts my head a lot thinking about this shit. I don't necessarily think thinking about it is healthy. They're thinking about it to this extent, but I think talking about it's healthy, and kind of going through my head and all this other stuff about it. I think I'm gonna stop now. I think I'm gonna go to bed. I'm quite tired. Bye.